see what we find there.
Right.
Then going down even further down the road, we're looking at the what we call the East Zone South, which is dominated by carbonate platform sediments of the Luning Formation. The Luning...
Oh, that was sort of across the valley, that's what was going on. Yeah.
The Luning Formation is a known gold host in some of the nearby mining districts surrounding Pamlico. And in the East Zone South, we see intensely altered and decalcified carbonate sediments where we see structurally controlled gold up to 5 grams an outcrop. So we know there's gold there, we know there's alteration, but quite frankly, right at this point in time, we're focused on the Pamlico Ridge Zone, and that's just, a future.
And focusing on one zone is what you have to do, right? The market, especially a market that is where it is difficult to attract attention, you need to be able to define, here's a thing that we definitely have. That's clearly the goal with this new drill program. And then as you define that, also demonstrating all of this larger scale potential is important, but having something to sink your teeth into is the near term thing.
Yes. It's a volcanic hosted system essentially with micron gold. Pamlico and the Round Mountain Mine. The Round Mountain Mine is one of the 10 largest mines in the world, gold mines. It's situated in the Walker Lane along the same structural lineament that Pamlico is situated in. Today, Round Mountain boasts past production plus current resources and reserves of 23 million ounces. So it's a big mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but Pamlico and Round Mountain are both hosted in the same type of volcanic rocks, a lithic tuff. Both of them have an overlying cap rock volcanosedimentary sequence, and both are hosted in a bimodal volcanic pile, which is just a stack of volcanic rocks that goes back and forth between kind of like a layer cake with different composition of rocks. Both of them, in both cases, they're lithic tuffs in between large rhyolite units.
Sure.
And so it's very, very common. And both Pamlico and Round Mountain are known for the spectacular coarse gold they produce. But more than 98% of the gold endowment in both systems is actually very fine-grained, almost micron gold. In fact, at Pamlico, that 340 gram drill intercept I mentioned has no visible gold in it.
Which is really unusual.
Very unusual. Yeah. Geographically, it's a large, low ridge. If it's there as we think it is, it should make a very good open pit with remarkably low strip ratios.
Basically, it's sticking up instead of going down.
It has, Pamlico Ridge has a lot of similarities to Round Mountain, because when Round Mountain first started as a mine, it was a round mountain.
Right.
It's now a big round hole in the ground. So, and the advantage of that is you don't have pit walls to worry about. You're basically mining the mountain down to start with. So, it should be a very favorable mining scenario going forward. The topography around Pamlico is well suited for heap leaching, and very importantly, we have access to 2 mills that have suitable mill circuits to treat Pamlico ore in.
Yeah, you're definitely in the right country for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot to do. So, I look forward to seeing all the news. There's going to be a lot of it with all the sampling and the metallurgical work, and then getting into the drill program. So, best of luck out there. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to keeping up with it.
Gwen, thank you very much for having us. Just initiated a early stage metallurgical program that will confirm my opinion that we're going to have very simple, straightforward metallurgy there at Pamlico. We're also in the process of mapping and sampling approximately 5 miles of underground workings, which, if you stop and think about it, a tunnel that has been mapped and sampled properly is really a walk-through drill hole.
Right.
And somebody else has paid for all the drilling. So for a couple of $100,000, we'll get the equivalent information you would get from a $5 or $6 million drilling program.
Amazing.
So it's a tremendous asset to us, and very importantly, it will help us vector our exploration going forward, because we'll be able to model that system now in good 3-dimension and actually materially improve our future exploration. Although at a 90% success rate, we've had pretty good luck so far. Out of the 47 holes, we have 48 major intercepts. So it's, we've been very fortunate. A lot of very careful geology's gone into that. But Then as we finish because there will be a constant flow of news coming out of that underground work, because we'll probably see between 3,000 and 4,000 underground samples as a result of that work. Then as that wraps up, we're going to move into a very aggressive drill campaign. Right now we're budgeting for between 100 and 150 drill holes to be completed during the first half of 2019. With the specific objective of getting enough data to initiate a maiden resource on the Pamlico Ridge Zone in mid-2019.
So you're busy. That's a
Very
lot.
busy.
That's a lot that's going on.
I try not to let too much grass grow under my feet.
Good stuff.
So for a couple of $100,000, we'll get the equivalent information you would get from a $5 or $6 million drilling program.
Amazing.
So it's a tremendous asset to us, and very importantly, it will help us vector our exploration going forward, because we'll be able to model that system now in good 3D and actually materially improve our future exploration. Although at a 90% success rate, we've had pretty good luck so far. Out of the 47 holes, we have 48 major intercepts. So
I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in September, and I'm joined by Robert Carrington of New Range Gold. Haven't seen you in a few months, but it was a few months before that I was down at your project, Pamlico, and I really like the geology of that asset. Unfortunately, the market isn't paying attention, and I think that is by no means unique to New Range. There's a lot of explorers out there right now that are doing good work and have interesting assets, but the market's not paying attention. That's just the dearth of investors that we have. To me, those opportunities make sense. There's lots of cheap explorers out there, but it only makes sense to buy one today if there's a set of if there's catalysts coming that have real potential to change that, to make the market pay attention. And that does seem to be the situation right now with New Range. So why don't you talk a little bit about what Pamlico is, and then we can get into what some of those catalysts are that are coming.
okay, well, Pamlico is one.
Sorry, I say it backwards.
Yeah,
tomato.
I did too for a long time.
Oh, did you?
Pamlico is one of Nevada's old high-grade districts. It was discovered around 1884 and was widely regarded as one of Nevada's highest-grade districts. By 1886, they were shipping high-grade ores to the Comstock that assayed over 200 ounces a ton. Just phenomenal grades. And
I think that is by no means unique to New Range. There's a lot of explorers out there right now that are doing good work and have interesting assets, but the market's not paying attention. That's just the dearth of investors that we have. To me, those opportunities make sense. There's lots of cheap explorers out there, but it only makes sense to buy one today if there's a set of if there's catalysts coming that have real potential to change that, to make the market pay attention. And that does seem to be the situation right now with New Range. So why don't you talk a little bit about what Pamlico is, and then we can get into what some of those catalysts are.
We're also in the process of mapping and sampling approximately 5 miles of underground workings, which, if you stop and think about it, a tunnel that has been mapped and sampled properly is really a walk-through drill hole.
Right.
And somebody else has paid for all the drilling. So for a couple of $100,000, we'll get the equivalent information you would get from a $5 or $6 million drilling program.
Amazing.
So it's a tremendous asset to us, and very importantly, it will help us vector our exploration going forward, because we'll be able to model that system now in good 3D and actually materially improve our future exploration. Although at a 90% success rate, we've had pretty good luck so far in our 2017 drill program, so extremely high grades. It's a volcanic hosted system, essentially with micron gold. Pamlico and the Round Mountain Mine. The Round Mountain Mine is one of the 10 largest mines in the world, gold mines. It's situated in the Walker Lane along the same structural lineament that Pamlico is situated in. Today, Round Mountain boasts past production plus current resources and reserves of 23 million ounces. So it's a big mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And But Pamlico and Round Mountain are both hosted in the same type of volcanic rocks, a lithic tuff. Both of them have an overlying cap rock volcano-sedimentary sequence, and both are hosted in a bimodal volcanic pile, which is just a stack of volcanic rocks that goes back and forth between kind of like a layer cake with different composition of rocks. Both of them, in both cases, they're lithic tuffs in between large rhyolite units.
Sure.
And so it's very, very common. And both Pamlico and Round Mountain are known for the spectacular coarse gold they produce. But more than 98% of the gold endowment in both systems is actually very fine-grained, almost micron gold. In fact, at Pamlico, that 340-gram drill intercept I mentioned has no visible gold in it,
which is really unusual.
Very unusual. Yeah. You cannot pan gold out of that sample. It's just it's amazing. So very unique, and for modern milling and metallurgical plants, it's very favorable because the very fine-grained nature of the gold makes it subject or very amenable to potential heap leaching or very rapid and easy recovery in a conventional milling system.
Right.
So, there's a lot of that. We've completed 47 drill holes at Pamlico, and the market is what the market is. We have a lot of company
in not having attention. Yes,
yeah,
but
yeah, we don't feel like an orphan. But there are some very important catalysts that are coming actually underway as we speak. Very unique, and for modern milling and metallurgical plants, it's very favorable because the very fine-grained nature of the gold makes it subject or very amenable to potential heap leaching or very rapid and easy recovery in a conventional milling system.
Right.
So, there's a lot of that. We've completed 47 drill holes at Pamlico, and the market is what the market is. We have a lot of company
in not having attention. Yes, but
yeah, we don't feel like an orphan. But there are some very important catalysts that are coming actually underway as we speak. We've just initiated a early stage metallurgical program that will confirm my opinion that we're going to have very simple, straightforward metallurgy there at Pamlico. We're also in the process of mapping and sampling approximately 5 miles of underground workings, which, if you stop and think about it, a tunnel that has been mapped and sampled properly is really a walk-through drill hole.
Right.
And somebody else has paid for all the drilling. So for a couple of $100,000, we'll get the equivalent information you would get from a $5 or $6 million drilling program.
Amazing.
So it's a tremendous asset to us, and very importantly, it will help us vector our exploration going forward because we'll be able to model that system now in good 3-dimension and actually materially improve our future exploration. Although at a 90% success rate, we've had pretty good luck so far.